Miss Rachel was just crowned one of the most anti-Semitic people of 2025. And if you're like, wait, Miss Rachel, the one who wears overalls and sings educational songs for kids, that one? Yes, that one. Because a group called Stop Anti-Semitism just released the top 10 finalists for its Anti-Semite of the Year award. And Miss Rachel, well, she was among the contenders that people can vote for, joined by the likes of Tucker Carlson, an MMA fighter who defended Hitler, a right-wing creator who denied the Holocaust, and then also a few actresses who have spoken in support of Gaza amid the war. You know, Miss Rachel, she's done that herself, right? While her primary content is for children, she has frequently used her social media platforms to speak up for kids around the world, especially in Gaza. And even though Miss Rachel has gotten a lot of criticism for this, she has repeatedly stood her ground and said that she would continue to try to help children there.
I just put myself in the parents' shoes, and every child in Gaza is somebody's world. There's a great quote from a Jewish text that every life is a universe. They are everything to us. I have very strong morals and values. Write articles, attack me. I know who I am, God knows who I am. I'm here to serve children, and I will not back down.
Right, and with that, it should be noted she's talked about kids from everywhere, kids in Gaza, kids in Israel. And with caring for kids really just being her primary concern, she's constantly posted about how no child, no matter where they are, should worry about hunger, bombing, illness, or conflict. Well, there were, people who supported this list, and Miss Rachel being on it. It also received a ton of backlash. So you had politicians like Representative Ro Khanna weighing in, saying Miss Rachel is a preschool teacher who speaks up for starving children in Gaza, and saying that is not anti-Semitism. I hope thousands will join me in standing up for her. Also others saying things like Miss Rachel is one of the kindest humans in public life who has preached nothing but love for all children everywhere, and saying she hasn't uttered a cruel word toward anyone, let alone anti-Semitism, and saying this absolute garbage sets back the fight against anti-Semitism. Right, and with all this, you had tons of people outraged that not only someone like Miss Rachel made the list, but someone like Nick Fuentes, he wasn't on it. So you had some saying this illustrates perfectly that groups like this don't actually care about anti-Semitism at all. And others saying, including a beloved childhood educator on an Anti-Semite of the Year list along with actual Jew haters and leaving out Nick Fuentes, shows the hypocrisy of accounts like Stop Anti-Semitism. Saying when we conflate condemnation of Israeli policies with anti-Semitism, we risk minimizing the work of actually stopping anti-Semitism. And so with that, you had the group kind of addressing this backlash, saying, hey, Nick Fuentes made the list in prior years and they didn't want to use him again, right? And then saying they stand by their choice to nominate Miss Rachel. With that, I will say not the most surprising move from this group, which actually previously asked the DOJ to investigate whether or not Miss Rachel was spreading propaganda on behalf of Hamas. Also, the Washington Post did a report last year noting that the group had been accused of doxing people that it believed made anti-Israel or anti-Semitic statements. But then, as far as Miss Rachel herself, while she hasn't publicly responded to this inclusion on the list, just a few weeks ago, she did respond to this general criticism, writing, anti-Semitism is rising and it's real and we need to address it and prevent it. But then adding, saying people are anti-Semitic because they care about Palestinians is wrong and absurd. It has kept people silent and has caused more death of kids and innocent people. It's caused a genocide to continue. And saying accusing people of being paid by Hamas for caring about Palestinians is serious and makes no sense. I have the most beautiful community around me of Jewish people who care so deeply about Palestinians and are working every day to help. And so, with this news and really anything that stands out to you, I'd love to know your thoughts, opinions, and reactions, but I just have to add mine here to the people that think that Miss Rachel is anti-Semitic, even deserving of Anti-Semite of the Year. Are you crazy or fucking stupid? Is it a little of both? What is the split? What is wrong with your brain? This group or this person or whoever the hell's behind it and the people supporting it, do you realize you're making things worse? Like, do you realize that conflating what Miss Rachel is doing with actual anti-Semitism, which is out there and exists and is growing, makes people dismiss that very real threat? You're being the boy who cried wolf and Miss Rachel ain't the wolf, but the wolf's out there. They're growing their pack. And also by being this ridiculous, you don't even realize the other stuff you're fueling. You being a dumbass about things like what's happening with Miss Rachel, it adds to the reason that the people that win this award sometimes wear it with honor, with pride. Nick Fuentes was tweeting, why wasn't I nominated? Candace Owens won last year. She wears it as a badge of honor and her audience mostly loves her for it. Because when you conflate criticisms of what Netanyahu is doing or what Israel's doing in Gaza or anything like that to anti-Semitism, it degrades any of your other arguments. But anyway, I know after doing this for like 20 years, you can't fix stupid. The questions I'm asking, I guess they're probably rhetorical. So I guess maybe the note to end on is actually a thank you for being so stupid that you've kind of united people on the left and right of knowing and thinking that you're stupid.